We begin in Lagos, where several patients seeking medical care in Lagos State government-owned hospitals were stranded on Monday. This was due to disruptions in healthcare services as the medical guild began a 3-day warning strike over irreconcilable differences with the state government. The medical guild is protesting what it describes as illegal and disrespectful salary deductions by the government. The guild is demanding the immediate reversal of July's salary cuts and full payments of 12 months arrears owed to honorary consultants under the consolidated medical salary structure. Let's get a better understanding of what's going on. We're joined tonight by the Lagos State Chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association, Dr. Saeed Babajide. Thank you very much for speaking with us. A lot was seen today as per patients being stranded. How much of a lifeline did you give the government before deciding on this action?
Good evening, viewer. Thank you very, very much. We always care about the health of the patient, of the public, of the citizen. And from this strike, we still provide some services for them. We are not that wicked. But the strike is due to the action of two parasitors in Lagos State. And this strike should be averted. It's a simple thing that government should have done and try to prevent it. And it's due to the deduction in the salary of our member. It happened April this year. The salary of our member were reduced from 20,000 to 250 to 300,000, according to the grade level, from grade level 10 to 17. And we felt it was wrong. And I was meeting during that time, and the money were paid back in April of the same year. And there was negotiation between government and the medical guild. Medical guild is Association of Lagos State Employed Doctors. And we felt that issue had been resolved until when the salary was paid this month of July. On the 23rd, we realized that there was also sudden, unnoticed, unfair deduction of the salary again. We felt was unfair. And we felt they did it intentionally to hurt the people, to hurt the system, and to hurt the healthcare delivery in the state.
All right.
And their reason,
Go ahead, conclude your thoughts, sir.
Their reason is that they realize that the doctor in Lagos State are being paid more than their counterparts in the federal health institution in the state. And we say yes. And a very simple reason. If you recall before, the federal workers are being paid more than the state before the present administration of Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu came in. When he now came in, we went to see him and told him, we wrote a letter to the Lagos State government, and there is difference between the payment. From that, one allowance of what we call retention allowance was put in place, in which the difference between the state salary and the federal salary, the difference between them now made the more retention allowance. And at that time, we are par with the federal doctor until when the minimum wage was implemented by the federal government. And you know that the minimum wage of federal government is 70,000. While the Lagos State increased the minimum wage of workers in Lagos State to 80,000.
Dr. Babajide, I'm sorry to cut in. I'm sorry to cut in because at least we get some sort of picture of what's going on. Would it be fair to say it seems like a communication deficit between the state and the federal government for them to do this automatic deduction if, as you say, there was, consultations with the state government on a review of pay?
What I said, listen to me, that I said, because the Lagos State government increased to 80%, 80,000. And the minimum wage increment is an adjustment in one way. It's pure minimum wage at federal state level. If it's a pure one, what workers are getting should be higher, especially at the grade level, at the higher grade level. What they did is adjustment minimum. As you are going up, as your grade level is increasing, the value of the money added to your money is reduces. And what the governor of Lagos State felt that when you look at the amount being given to level 12, level 13 to 17, comparing to percentage being given to the other lower level is very wide. And the governor felt that instead of giving that percentage, he now making 45% for such level, and that will increase the minimum wage, which the federal did not do. In that case, at the level of 15, 16, 17, the minimum wage increased, while their general salary, gross salary also increased more than the federal counterpart.
Okay, so we get a picture of this. I did get what you were saying. My concern now is why it had to come to a strike to draw government's attention, because obviously there is an ongoing conversation, and now the government has responded to your warning strike, saying that they will engage more in dialogue. Of what confidence do you have that this time around the conversation will be in your favor?
Yeah, I think everything lies on the governor, because governor is a Dr. Lovely governor. He had done everything that we needed, time of regulation, also help us in providing permanent secretariat land for us to build a permanent secretariat. And we felt that the ministry that caused the Ministry of Finance and Establishment, they are telling us that it depends on the governor, and the governor can just do it. Because it's a simple thing. The amount we are talking about have been budgeted for. It's not new money. They just deducted the wickedly. And what the government should do, the governor should do, is just to tell them to pay the money back and remove and stop the death of patients or citizens unnecessarily. Right. There was agreement, there was meeting, and they were saying different things from what they are saying. And we felt that if we can have meeting with you, we should have faith in you. And if you want to interview you, to let us know. You just remove it suddenly in July. That is unfair. That unfortunately, it's not acceptable.
We hope that there is an amicable solution before the 3 days elapses. Fingers crossed on that one. Thank you very much, Doctor, for speaking with us.
Yes, thank you very much. And I hope that today the issue will resolve. And we will go back to work.
I hope so too. I sincerely hope so too. I'm going to short break. The news continues right after. July the 28th every year is marked as World Hepatitis Day, a global call to eliminate a disease that affects over 350 million people worldwide. In Nigeria, stakeholders are using the moment to raise awareness about testing, vaccination, and treatment, especially in vulnerable communities. News Central's correspondent Sumaya Abubakar tells us more.
With this year's theme, Hepatitis, Let's Break It Down, advocates are sounding the alarm on the urgency of early diagnosis and access to care. Nigeria remains one of the countries with the highest hepatitis burden globally, with millions unaware of their status.
19 millions of Nigerians are living with this infection, but sadly, only 30% out of this 19 million are aware of their status. And as such, there is need for awareness, because knowing produces action, and action produces results, and those results brings about the development that we all need in the world.
I, for one, I have someone that died. I won't say it was out of negligence because we are seeing little signs like jaundice, the eyes were becoming yellow, his lips were becoming pale, he was already having some bloatings like that. We're thinking it was just maybe normal. We're even thinking if it was cancer or something very, very huge. We didn't think towards hepatitis or maybe getting a vaccine or test until the person passed.
You can get hepatitis just by touching someone, body fluids and all that. So I feel it is very, very important to know your status, go to a healthcare center, get tested, and know your status. If it is negative, I advise you take the vaccine as soon as possible. There are at least 3 dosage of this vaccine. You get one immediately and the second one after 3 months, and the last one after another 3 months.
Experts say the road to elimination lies in awareness and routine testing, especially among youth and pregnant women. But misinformation and limited access to care continue to pose serious challenges.
I know that we can't know about everything, but I think Nigerians should put in more effort to talk about these things. Go to healthcare centers. Like, you don't just go to the hospital, you ask questions, you watch health shows, read about these things, so you would know, and then you just don't wake up randomly and it attacks you without knowing anything about it.
Some organizations are taking it upon themselves to give free vaccine, but people are just taking it. They don't really know what is at stake. They don't really know what they are really taking it for. So the first thing, the government should create awareness. Then secondly, make these vaccines readily available for everyone to take.
While the campaigns gain momentum, health professionals say that beating hepatitis will take more than a day of action. Until testing and treatment are universal, they say the clock keeps ticking. In Abuja, for News Central, Sumaya Abubakar.
Many thanks, Sumaya. Dr. Nsabasi Ekanem is the National Coordinator of the Civil Society Network on Hepatitis. He joins us now to discuss the significance of this annual commemoration. Good to have you on the news tonight, and thanks for the time you're sparing. I mean, that report captures the urgency. Well, I want you to talk to us about the viral hepatitis being a silent killer. How is it?
Well, thank you very much for having me, and thanks to viewers at home for joining. When we say that hepatitis is a silent killer, it is because in the very early stages of the disease, it's relatively asymptomatic. Symptoms do not appear in the early phases, and that's why we see most patients who report to facilities would always say, "Oh, doctor, I don't have any problem, I'm very fine," until when the liver is badly damaged. That's when they begin to observe symptoms like one of the respondents in your report talked about yellowing of the eyes and, of course, darkening of the urine. So because of this, most people don't even know until it ends up killing them, which is why we say it's a silent killer. And that is why early detection is the key to surviving hepatitis. And that's why for us, we believe that the government should be able to support programs, in partnership with, other stakeholders and partners, both internationally and locally. But the government must take leadership towards ensuring that we nip this silent killer in the bud. We help people to identify it on time, have it treated, and those who do not have it can take vaccines to protect themselves and their families against this deadly killer disease, hepatitis.
All right. Beyond this annual commemoration, where are we generally in creating awareness?
Well, I would say that Nigeria hasn't done so well. As a matter of fact, last week I was in Uganda during the triple elimination, and we've seen what other countries like Uganda, Rwanda, even countries like Egypt have eliminated hepatitis. Unfortunately, Nigeria is still lagging behind. And when looking at the 2030 goal, I don't think we've done so much. I think it is time for us as a country to be more intentional about our approach towards creating awareness. If you go to most of our public hospitals, maybe all, you'd really see any poster or any infographic talking about hepatitis. I mean, the National Orientation Agency is not really doing much when it comes to creating awareness about hepatitis. I mean, realizing the fact that it is a very deadly killer disease and that up to about 20 million Nigerians are living with the virus already, according to the NICE report of 2018. I mean, it brings to fore the urgency and the need for government to use every means within its disposal to work with community groups like the Civil Society Network on Hepatitis. I mean, our network is made up of over 200 organizations that are working across the nooks and crannies of this country. And the sole responsibility of this civil society is to create awareness. So by empowering them, the government can reach the unreachable and even reach people in the hard-to-reach communities. And, by so doing, it can pass the message to people who need to know about it so that they can take informed decisions to protect themselves and their families against this.
I'm not going to let you off the hook, really, in terms of this awareness creation, because you are the Civil Society Network on Hepatitis. Talk to us about your role, knowing how vital it is that we work faster towards elimination. How are you helping the government with advocacy and enlightenment?
Well, I would say that we are doing the best we can. As I speak to you, by Thursday this week, we'll be holding an international webinar that we are bringing stakeholders from across the world to Nigeria, to focus on Nigeria and see how we can build strategic partnership towards accelerating elimination. I mean, that webinar will have as a special guest the Deputy Senate Committee Chair of the Senate Committee on Health, Dr. Kyla.
All right, while that is great in itself, I was thinking more on rural, local communication, because like it or not, in today's Nigeria, not everybody still has access to the internet or is savvy on how to use it to get this kind of information.
As I speak to you, today being the World Hepatitis Day, our member organizations across the length and breadth of this country are implementing awareness campaigns. I mean, just today alone, I've received several reports of not just our network members, but from state governments who have confirmed that our network members are raising awareness across communities. But we want to go beyond that. We want the government to take ownership, because one of our responsibilities is not just creating awareness, it's also advocating for government to take ownership, because for you to address the scourge of hepatitis, you need to look at not just awareness, but treatment. You need to look at vaccination. You need to look at the whole landscape. And for you to do that, funding is important. And that's why we are calling the government. So to say, come in, support this, and make hepatitis a priority. There is no gainsaying that hepatitis is a very serious burden to Nigeria. But the government take leadership and ensure that we deal with it decisively.
Yeah, just a key word from what you said, government to take ownership of addressing and possibly eliminating hepatitis across Nigeria. Thank you for speaking with us and for the work that you do.
Thank you.
Let's tell you that the federal government has launched a loan fund to support staff of tertiary institutions. The fund, known as the Tertiary Institution Staff Support Fund, is designed to enhance the welfare and professional development of academic and non-academic staff in universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education. Each academic and non-academic staff member will be eligible to receive up to 10 million naira, capped at 33.3% of their gross annual salary. Eligible uses include transportation, medical support, and micro-enterprise ventures such as poultry farming. This was disclosed in a statement by the Director of Press at the Federal Ministry of Education, Folashade Boriowo, on Sunday. The Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar III, will deliver a keynote address at the Religion for Peace World Council meeting in Istanbul, Turkey on July the 29, 2025. The meeting, held every 5 years, brings together representatives from 140 countries and various faiths to discuss pressing global issues. The meeting will focus on strategies to mitigate debt crisis and promote growth and development in low-income countries and explore the impact of AI on values, culture, and religion, and how faith communities can navigate these changes. Go on a short break, the news continues right after. Thank you for being here. President Bola Tinubu has expressed deep sorrow over the loss of lives and destruction caused by the recent floods in Yola, Adamawa State, and a boat mishap in Guni village, Niger State. In a statement issued on Monday by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the president conveyed his condolences to the affected families and commended the emergency responders who have been on the front line of rescue efforts. He described flooding as a global phenomenon driven largely by climate change, but warned that local human activities often worsen its impact. Tinubu praised the courage and commitment of emergency responders, local divers, volunteers, and community leaders working around the clock in both states. Meanwhile, the Adamawa State Governor, Adamu Fintiri, on Monday in Yola confirmed that the death toll of the Sunday flooding has risen to 23, with many others still missing. Fintiri was at the temporary displacement camp at Yelewa Primary School, where he met with displaced families. He expressed his grief and reassured them of the government's commitment to providing relief materials to reduce their hardship. News Center's correspondent Umaru Kirawa has the details.
Another flood emergency grips Adamawa State, this time hitting communities across Yola North and Yola South hardest. Overwhelmed drainage systems could not hold back the downpour, leaving roads, homes, farmlands and public infrastructure underwater.
We on the lights in the sitting room. Behold, there was water all over the place now. That was how we started packing. Only for us to come out of the sitting room inside the compound of the house to see that everywhere is flooded.
More than 8 communities have been badly affected. People had to flee with just the clothes on their backs, no time to save anything. Some families are still trapped in their homes, waiting for help.
The search and rescue is ongoing. We are evacuating people from their communities or from their homes to the hospital, especially those who are injured. And for those who are not injured, we take them directly to the IDP camp.
A joint emergency response team comprising the National Emergency Management Agency, Adamawa State Emergency Management Agency, and other state officials mobilized to rescue victims and provide emergency assistance.
There was a warning given to them. The Commissioner of Environment is here. We came together to ensure that people were evacuated, but some of them went behind to still stay in those houses. But the government will not relent in its effort to ensure that citizens are safe. It is our duty to ensure the safety and security of our citizens, so we'll still go back and do what government should do, which is why we're here today.
While state authorities confirmed 2 deaths, residents say the toll is much higher, with at least 23 people feared dead and many still unaccounted for. Injured victims are being treated at the Modibo Adama University Teaching Hospital. Meanwhile, thousands now seek shelter in overcrowded makeshift camps. In Yola for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
Many thanks, Umar. To politics now. Ahead of the 2027 presidential election, the African Democratic Congress has revealed that it was not fixated on the contentious issue of zoning. This came as the secretary of the coalition subcommittee on the feasibility of the registration of a new political party, Dr. Umar Ado, dismissed speculations that the coalition had abandoned its application for the registration of All Democratic Alliance. The ADC, however, stated that it intends to reshape the country's political system by promoting principles, practical solutions, and people-centered governance rather than relying on regional power-sharing arrangements. The Social Democratic Party, SDP, has expelled Nasser El-Rufai, former governor of Kaduna State, declaring him ineligible to associate with the party in any capacity for the next 30 years. In a statement issued in Abuja by Adamawa State, SDP's National Publicity Secretary, the party said El-Rufai never formally registered as a member of the ward at the ward level as required by the party's constitution. Ayenigba said, despite this, the former governor had publicly claimed membership of on social media and forged documents to back his assertions. The party accused El-Rufai of manipulating internal party processes, spreading misinformation, and attempting to destabilize the party through unconstitutional and deceptive political maneuvers. A lot has been going on. With me in the studio is a leader of the People's Democratic Party, Dr. Adetokunbo Piers. He will be speaking to issues in the polity ahead of 2027. It's a pleasure to have you with us tonight.
Glad to be here.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the inter-party moves. We have people who are in one party while endorsing candidates in another party. The latest is Ayo Fayose, coming out to endorse President Tinubu while he is still a member of the PDP. And then we have the FCT minister who has clearly stated that he is supporting an APC candidate in 2027, yet he remains a member of the PDP. I want you to speak to that because oftentimes, like I told you before we started this conversation, that when I ask this question, there's always a play at not actually answering it.
Let me try to answer it the best I can.
That.
Those who claim to be in the PDP and are working against the PDP, they are like a wife who has been divorced, who has maybe herself said, I'm not interested in this husband anymore, this marriage anymore. But whenever there's a family meeting, they want to come. What can you do? Are you going to kill them? Are you going to have them arrested? No. You know, they can talk, but they're not going home with you. They're not really members of the party. Let me put it this way. Wike has not been a member of the PDP since the day he spoke out publicly that he's supporting Bola Tinubu for 2027.
But he is everywhere in your party.
No. He's not everywhere in the party. He claims to be a member of the party. In theory, by his own words, he's a member. In reality, he's not. And Fire says the same. Let me put it this way. If you're a member of a party, you will be active in the party. You go to meetings of the party, you nominate people to run in the party, or you run in the party. Can any of them do that in the PDP? No. Let me tell you something very revealing that has happened to El-Rufai. El-Rufai did not register in his ward. Therefore, he is not really a member, was never a member of the SDP. I put it to you today that Atiku Abubakar, Aregbe Yola, all of them that claim to be members of the ADC are not actually members of ADC because nobody has registered them in their ward. Therefore, you see what we're going through now in Nigerian politics is the sign of the times. There are times when law and order breaks down in society. It has broken down in our body politic.
I'm curious with your instance of the SDP.
Yes.
The reason I'm curious is because the SDP has come out with a statement boldly saying that they are banning El-Rufai for 30 years, meaning the possibility of him ever becoming a member is null. So why is the PDP
when he's 100 years old, he can still come back.
Well, you and I know that is an impractical.
This is the issue. This is the issue. SDP has spoken because that is their way of dealing with it. in reality, it doesn't matter whether they said El-Rufai is a member or not. You know why? Because El-Rufai cannot participate in anything going on in SDP.
But that's not the case with PDP. That's the worry, because like it or not, optics matter. If you say that this person is no longer an active member of the party, whereas the person claims contrary, and people still see him looking like he wields some authority.
Well, look, let people see what they see, and we'll try to explain what the reality is. Wike is like that. How long ago? A man who says, if you're ever in politics, you understand the point I'm making. Once you say you are not a member of this party, or rather, you are not. Wait. Once you say you are supporting a candidate of another party, you stand the chance of being expelled from the party. Other than that, if nobody expels you, technically you are out of the party because you are not participating in the party. All of us now are campaigning for the regrouping of PDP, preparing for our presidential convention, where we will support our candidate who emerges.
Don't you think that this lack of clear action, let's say for something, whether it is perfunctory or just a formality, for people to begin to think that the PDP is taking very firm and bold actions to reassert. That's where I'm going with the question.
There will be a time when that will happen, but I'm telling you, you see, superficial issues don't really matter. When we go to election, you will see, Wike will not participate in anything. He cannot run for anything in office. If you cannot run for anything in a political party, please, are you really a member of that party? If you cannot nominate anybody to run and help that person to become a candidate in the party, are you a member of that party? No. Fayose has been supporting Tinubu for a long time. And his own reason is very clear. He's a criminal who's been accused of embezzlement of government funds.
Well, has he been convicted?
I mean, well, he has been cleared now. He was accused and he went to trial. Well, that's the point. He has been cleared because Ganduje, all the presidents of the chairman of the APC has always said, commit any crime, do anything, come to APC, and your sins will be forgiven.
I want to quickly flip back to what you said.
When Fayose got into trouble in PDP, and Jonathan...
So what you're trying to say is that he's looking out for his own personal interest.
He went to APC, and he has been supporting Tinubu because Tinubu has protected him from having a criminal issue against, criminal allegation against him. They buried it now.
That's really strong statements you are making. But I want you to go quickly.
It is on record that he was accused of embezzling millions. This is the same thing he did when he was governor of Ekiti State. Obasanjo took him on and said, look, we gave you billions of money to set up
Fayose is also one man. Wike is one man. But let's go back to what you said about the...
When Obasanjo got there was no chicken. And then he got into trouble.
Because this is time-constrained conversation.
These are disgraceful human beings. These are terrible people whose actions should be... Look, you should be ashamed.
Because of time constraint, let me ask you about the comments.
You should be ashamed of these people.
Let's talk about... You said something that I want you to speak on further. You said that Atiku and the likes that form the ADC are not members of the ADC, right? But we know that... a couple of them have come out to publicly issue statement that they are no longer, they've resigned from the PDP.
You could resign from the PDP and still be homeless politically. I am telling you, look, if you say you're a member of ADC, or any party, you must have you must register at the ward of the party. ADC doesn't even have ward structure. They don't even have ward structure. So there's nowhere to even register. And even when you say you came into ADC, the immediate past presidential candidate of ADC has said that ADC is not for sale.
Okay, I'm being told we have less than 30 seconds.
All these people coming in are not really welcome in their party. There is no party called the LDC. These people are just fronting.
Okay, quickly, let's talk about PDP's upcoming, what was it now, conference? convention, I beg your pardon, the convention ahead of 2027, yes.
To Ibadan.
So what are the kind of decisions we should be expecting? Are we in for some kind of shocker?
No. The PDP is moving step by step in a diplomatic and democratic way. We had a national NEC meeting May 27. We had another one in April. We had one recently, July the 23rd. All of those meetings will take decisions. The 23rd meeting that happened about a week ago, we took the decision that we are going, the date of our party, of our convention, has been confirmed. Okay. We have also zoned our presidential ticket to the south and our vice president to the north. Okay. And the national chairman to the north. So everything is in order in the PDP. We are solid and we are ready to take over 2027.
We had someone, a former spokesperson for the PDP, I think Kola Olugodinyo, say that the party has not been, the ticket has not been zoned.
Well, the party met in a national executive committee and took a decision. So who is Olugodinyo or anybody else to contradict that? That's his opinion because he's a member of ADC or whatever he is. He has no say. Whatever, if I should say, oh, PDP is dead, that's his opinion. And that is wishful thinking. That's what he wants. That's not the reality.
I wish we had more time to continue this conversation. But for now, thank you very much for speaking with us. We appreciate your time. At least you're one of the few that have actually made an attempt to answer the question when I put it out. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right, away from Nigeria quickly, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has issued a stern warning on the deteriorating humanitarian and political situation in the Gaza Strip and the occupied Palestinian territories. Speaking at a high-level conference at UN headquarters in New York, Guterres condemned the ongoing starvation and destruction in Gaza as a dire crisis unfolding before the eyes of the world. He called the creeping annexation of the West Bank illegal and demanded an end to the wholesale destruction of Gaza. Tonight returns with business, sports and entertainment. To stay with us.
I'm talking. Yeah. I'm talking. Can you hear me? Mic check. Hello. Ladies and gentlemen. In business, Transcorp Power PLC is reporting robust half-year 2025 results, posting a 77.6 billion naira gross profit and declaring an interim dividend of 11.25 billion naira. The company's revenue surged by 52% to 205.8 billion naira, and this is driven by enhanced generation capacity and operational efficiency. Profit before tax rose 15% to 58.7 billion naira. And Chairman Emmanuel Noram cited disciplined cost management and resilience, while the Chief Executive Officer, Peter Ikenga, highlighted a 100 megawatt generation increase year on year, and despite inflation and forex pressures, the company maintains strong performance, reinforcing investor confidence. Let's also tell you that electronic payments in Nigeria rose 24.4% year on year to 295.5 trillion naira in Q1 2025, and this highlights the nation's accelerating shift to a cashless economy, and this is according to a new data from the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System. Usage volume hit 2.21 billion transactions, with point-of-sale terminals processing 776.94 million. Instant transfers accounted for 285 trillion naira, while POS transactions totaled 10.52 trillion naira. Analysts say the ease and speed of real-time payments have made them the norm for daily transactions. And with 7.9 billion real-time transactions in 2024, Nigeria ranks among global leaders in digital payments, outpacing all other African economies. And talking about sectoral performance on the NGX, the banking sector declined by 0.69% as investors clocked and locked the profits from recent gains. Insurance stocks outperformed with a sharp 2.54% surge, driven by renewed interest in undervalued counters. The oil and gas sector edged up 0.22%, while consumer goods gained 1.29% on renewed buying in mid-cap. And of course, FCMGs. Industrial goods also posted a modest 0.64% increase, rounding off a session tilted in favor of defensive and growth-oriented plays. And that's all on business. I am Likon Obanjo.
And in sports, the Nigeria women's national football team, the Super Falcons of Nigeria, touched down Abuja on Monday, fresh off their triumph in the just concluded Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. At the club, the players were honored by President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa in Abuja after their trophy parade across the capital. Each player received a national honor of the Officer of the Order of the Niger. They also received $100,000 and, of course, a 3-bedroom apartment. Members of the technical team were awarded $50,000 each. Additionally, the Nigeria Governors Forum gifted the players 10 million naira collectively.
Crucial time, crucial victory. On behalf of the grateful nation, I hereby conferred on the players the 11-man technical team with national honor of officer. I hereby direct the allocation of 3-bedroom apartments.
Now, the 2025-2026 Nigeria Premier Football League season will kick off on the 22nd of August with defending champions Remo Stars hosting Rivers United in Ikenne. Newcomers Kon Khalifat Football Club begin their top flight journey with a tough away clash against former champions Enugu Rangers. Record winners Enyimba will travel to face league debutants Barao FC, while returning side Warri Wolves open their campaign on the road against Katsina United. In another headline fixture, Abia Warriors square off against Kano Pillars. The fixtures were unveiled in Abuja during the annual general meeting of the Nigeria Premier Football League. The Nigeria's home-based Super Eagles B team were held to a goalless draw by Zanzibar in a pre-CHAN 2024 friendly on Monday. Despite dominating possession, Eric Shell's side failed to convert chances. The match is part of Nigeria's preparations for the 2024 African Nations Championship, which kicks off this weekend in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. The teams will face off again in a second friendly on Thursday before the CHAN Eagles move to their official tournament base. Nigeria's 23-man squad, made up entirely of Nigeria Premier Football League players, will open their CHAN campaign against defending champion Senegal on the 5th of August in Zanzibar. And that's a wrap on Sport Update. I am Udoka Njoko.
Sam Dandy is here with the entertainment. Sam Dandy.
Exciting news. I mean, for fans of hip-hop, should I say rap or Olamide, he just got a bus stop named after him, replacing Charlie Boy. So okay. I guess I want you
the controversy that's been on.
After the break, we'll talk about it. In entertainment, big win for the culture. Rap legend and music executive Olamide has been honored in his hometown as the Bariga LCDA renamed the iconic Charlie Boy bus stop in Bagada to Bado bus stop after his popular alias. Also, Agidan Street now bears his full name, Olamide Adedeji Bado Street, a celebration of Olamide's massive contribution to the Nigerian music industry and his lasting impact on the Bariga community where he grew up. With over a decade in the game, the YBNO boss has made such an impact in Nigerian hip-hop and Afrobeats as a whole. From pioneering indigenous rap to launching stars like Fireboy DML, Ashake, and Adekunle Gold. The 36-year-old rapper has 10 studio albums, countless hits, and global recognition. Now, this tribute is another well-earned salute to Olamide's legacy. Now, what's interesting is legends like Lagbaja, King Sunny Ade, have been honored, by performance venues across Nigeria, including Fela Kuti, of course, for the Africa Shrine. But I want to ask, we never see this happening a lot where a bus stop is named by a Nigerian star. Do you think more of such things should happen?
My brother, the comments that I have to make on this subject will not be pleasing, but the fact remains that someone was dropped for someone else to be celebrated. They say in Nigeria, not turn by turn. So it's a good thing. Congratulations to him. Let's just
leave it at that.
There. You know now.
But I mean, as a Gen Z, I must say, of course, we do love Charlie Boy. And now with this younger generation, we're thinking,
and again, he has reacted as well. He has reacted to the change.
We're waiting for Olamide's reaction, actually.
Olamide is a cool guy. I mean, he's a legend in his own right as well. So maybe they are doing it turn by turn.
Well, that is definitely the biggest story in entertainment. We should take some more. We're going to have to wrap it up there. My name, of course, is Sam Dandy.
Quick reminder of our top stories. Patients and families lament skeletal services as Lagos doctor begin 3-day warning strike over pay reduction. President Bola Tinubu condoles with victims of flood disaster in Adamawa as well as victims of boat mishap in Niger State. We also told you that the United Nations has warned the Israeli-Palestinian conflict has reached breaking point and has called for both political actions for peace. As always, we'd love your feedback. Please share them using the number showing now on your screen. You can follow us on social media platforms to do that at New Central TV. You can choose to watch us live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and on YouTube. As always, thank you so much for giving us your time. Have a good night.